We are back, and this is another episode of We Are One, You Are Two, a video game, but mostly PlayStation podcast. I'm your host, as always, Rob Fanzo, joined once again by the man who has taken a hiatus from Rocket League, I think, Matt Rhodes.
Heyo.
Is that true? Have you taken a hiatus?
Yeah, but well, yes and no. I haven't been playing as much, but that's because they're in between rocket passes.
Okay. And you didn't want to have to waste your time?
Exactly. The one ended, and the other one does not begin, I believe, until December 10th, which this will be out, or will have happened by the time that this is being presented to people. But I just haven't been playing as much. I've been conservative with my games because I'm trying to work my way back up position-wise. So if I'm not feeling it, or I'm losing a couple, I'm just saying screw it, as opposed to just powering through because the rocket pass.
Okay.
But Fortnite Season 7 just came out. Oh my gosh, folks. Good Lord.
Yeah, liking it?
Good. Yeah. Do your plug stuff. We'll get to that when we get to what
we'll get to that. So I just want to remind everyone that if you want to and like to, you can find us every week on Patreon, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, which is where most of you listen to us, every weekend by, I'm going to say Monday at noon, because that's what it's been lately. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. A good way to start off your work week. If you like what you hear and you want to support us, you can always email us at weare1ur2@gmail.com. Find me on Twitter at weare1ur2 and just say hi and tell me that we're doing a great job. If you like us even more than that and you really want to support us, certainly find the opportunity to donate just $1 over at our Patreon, and you'll get access to some cool perks and pools and polls. I'm sorry, not pools. I'm not taking you to the pool, but polls and other things like that. And I'm going to try and really keep on top of that because I've been slacking lately because we have no patrons.
Yeah, a little too cold for the pool these days.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially down here now, with the weather. Correct. Considering we're on the edge of snowpocalypse here in North Carolina.
Oh my gosh, here it comes.
What went from a little bit of snow and rain has turned into supposedly 8 to 12 inches for me in the county I live in. And so if my power goes out and you don't hear from me ever again, you'll know I froze to death over those 3 days. But we'll see. So
that's right, folks. Despite all of his survival game experience on the PlayStation, he will not know how to survive himself in real life.
No, I won't. Well, I think if I do know how to survive, it will because of that. Sometimes Olivia says to me, I'm so glad you're driving because I would have never pulled out with the timing of those cars. And I said, video games. That's always my answer, video games. Because if you don't know how to time shit in video games, you die enough. I figure it's just like that. It's just bigger, and I'm driving a vehicle instead. So, what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
I mean, it's hand-eye coordination is what it is, right? And it's anticipation.
Yeah.
And, when I'm platforming in Guacamelee, it's all about anticipation. And so why is that any different in life when you're driving a vehicle and you've got to squeeze between cars and traffic?
Yeah, I hear you.
You're reading the situation, the movement, the speed.
Yeah, from the early days of Frogger,
Amen to that.
To the now of Road Redemption, right?
Yeah, which we can talk about that too. That's definitely on my honorable mentions for this year.
Yeah.
Right now I'm watching my cat quite possibly destroy my television because she's up on the TV stand.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
She put her paws up. She loves watching me play Guacamelee. She put her paws up on my PlayStation. But the problem is where she put her paws was right where the power button and the eject button were. And I was like, if you turn this off in the middle, I'm going to kill you.
Murder your face.
Look at this. You can't see her, but I'm in trouble. I mean, I gotta pick her. Oh, she's found a hair tie. Anyway, let's get into.
I can see her now.
I'm sure people love listening to this. Yeah. Oh, there goes the hair tie. So she'll get off the TV now. But anyway,
let's hope. Fingers crossed.
Let's hope if I get up in the middle of this podcast, you'll know what happened. It's because my PlayStation went down and the cat went with it.
Yeah. Hopefully your PlayStation is on in the background downloading the new season of Fortnite.
It is actually, which is why I'm extra nervous that she's going to hit the power button.
Good times.
Good times indeed. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead, and I'm going to try and keep one eye on her and manage with you guys, but I think we'll be okay.
Hey, it's okay. I won a game of Fortnite the other day while we were doing this, so I'm sure you can manage a cat.
Yeah. Well, she found a hair tie, so she's content for the next hour.
There you go.
All right. So anyway, let's get into the show. Matt, why don't we start with talking about what we've been playing? And I'm going to let you start as always, and then that'll move us into our discussion for today, which this is going to be maybe a shorter episode. We're not going to do the news. I actually have a special edition of the Metacritic Quip game that I might use for us today, but we are definitely going to talk about our top 10 games of the year that we played, as well as top 10 games that have sold, as well as top 10 Metacritic games, just to kind of see where everybody stands with everything.
Yeah, of course.
And go from there, because it is award season for gaming. So
it is. You are correct.
Let's start with what we've been playing.
All right. Well, what I've been playing...
Not Rocket League.
Not Rocket League. Well, not a lot. I mean, a little bit. Today was mostly Fortnite because of the season. But what I've been playing the most, Robert? Prey.
What?
That May 5th, 2017 release.
That's what I was going to say.
Prey.
I think that was last year.
It was last year, Robert.
And I talked your ear off about it, did I not?
You did. And honestly, my roommate has it. I've played some of it. I remember playing the demo. However... Black Friday happened, and it was $20. The complete edition. Well, I'm assuming complete edition. Anyways, there's one DLC for it. It was $20 for the whole thing. So I figured, what's $20? And then I started playing it, and I was like, oh, this was 100% worth $20. And it's been hard to put down. I am not gonna lie. Once I start playing it, I can't put it down for at least 2-3 hours. I don't think that I've honestly picked up the game for 20 minutes and then put it right back down.
No, 20 minutes in that game goes way too fast.
Yeah.
15 minutes in a loading screen, which is why I remember I didn't like it.
Exactly. Well, I have the digital version, and I don't think it's that bad. Maybe because it's, been out for almost a year and a half, or not almost, it's been out for over a year and a half now. Maybe they kind of tightened it up for the digital copy. I don't know.
I have the digital copy, and it still feels slow to me, so maybe I'm just impatient.
Possibly. But I don't know. It's almost nostalgia with because it reminds me so much of BioShock. Even the loading screens remind me of BioShock, right? Because you go to a bathysphere, or in BioShock you went to a bathysphere to a different location, and it took a while to load the thing because there was a lot of stuff going on, right?
Right.
So I feel it's kind of the same way for Prey, but I don't know. It's been worth it so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, 100%, and I can't wait to finish it.
And yeah, I mean, I've put 36 hours into it, and you've gotten me back into it. I should tell people that you've got me back into it.
You're welcome.
I looked at my last trophy. The last trophy I earned was in March of this year, and so that was the last time I touched it.
Wow.
And so you got me back into it to the point where I've decided now that I'm literally at the crux mission that they tell you if you're going to mess around and do side quests, it's the last mission you want to be at for, I guess, parts of the space station shut down and you can't do the quest anymore.
Oh, right. I do remember seeing, because I think I'm going to try to platinum it, but I do remember seeing a specific, I forget what the title is, I'll have to look it up again, but there's whatever the title of the mission is.
Keys to the Kingdom, I think.
Yeah. It's whatever you do, save before this, because if you don't, you won't be able to go back and pick up all the little crap as far as the collectible stuff that you want to, because there's a bunch of collectibles trophies in the game.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited to finish it because it was on my to finish list, and then I think God of War came out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like, nope, done. I'm done.
Yeah, understandable. That's on my to finish list.
Yeah. Now, anything else you've been playing?
I think that's pretty much been it. Just okay. Fortnite, a smidgen of Rocket League, but mostly Prey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the same kind of boat, Prey, a lot because of you. I played some more Beat Saber a little bit earlier this week. I've been playing 2064 read-only memories on my Vita.
Okay.
And I tried because I was curious. We've talked about the censorship thing in the past.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Senran Kagura, Bon Appetit.
Yeah. And
goodness gracious, the fan service in that game is ridiculous. First off, it's ridiculous. And so I can understand why Sony, I can understand why people love it, right? And it has a lot of people on PSN profiles that own it. I was kind of shocked by the high number of people because I had never really paid much attention to those games. And I know that Josh Cadman's probably cringing at us right now, me saying that. But I've decided to download it and try it out, and it was crazy. And the other thing about it actually is it's a rhythm game. Like you have to press buttons and, with the in time with the music, and it like gives you which buttons to press, and you have to press them at a certain time when they land in a circle.
Yeah.
So it's one of those rhythm games. And good Lord, I had to lower the difficulty down to like easy. I couldn't do it on normal. It was crushing me.
Wow.
The first level. And I was like, this is absurd.
Yeah.
And it's like, how does anybody have any time to admire the scantily clad women that are like chopping the food up in front of you? Because I'm pressing buttons and like twisting my Vita in different directions. I was like,
yeah,
this isn't, I know that like it appeals to a certain type of gamer or crowd that might enjoy that stuff. But I wouldn't be able to look at any of that stuff. I was too busy watching the little button prompts at the bottom. And then at the end, she's like, hee hee. And I was like, okay, I didn't see anything. Like literally, I don't know what you could have been up there wearing a nun's outfit. And I'd had no idea because I was so concentrated on pressing the buttons. But it's kind of fun. I mean, it's got cheesy, fun music and it's a fun rhythm game. And so beyond, and I didn't really see anything that was worth quote unquote censoring. It was just like some of the anime that's out there, but I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. So it's kind of funny that they're one of the ones that are being targeted because of that.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that anyway on my Vita. I finally got back into the Spider-Man DLC with Black Cat, and that's amazing. Just because I enjoy Black Cat, I think that's an awesome character. And so I'm super excited to get back in. I actually forgot all the buttons for Spider-Man. So my first combat experience, I was like the wonkiest Spider-Man you've probably seen. And so that was a big issue. I also played a little bit, Matt, this week of Red Dead and Guacamelee 2.
Nice.
And so I'm kind of all over the place, I guess, really. I think I touched a little bit of Odyssey as well. Did I mention Beat Saber already? I might have.
You did, for sure.
And so I've been kind of dabbling in everything, but the one I want to mention the most that just came out a couple weeks ago is Road Redemption. Goodness gracious, is that game great. Like, I loved it. Loved it. It's first off, if you love Road Rash, or was it Road Rash? Yeah. Not Road Rage. Road Rash. From the is that 90s, we'll say?
Yeah. Road Rage.
Yeah. Road Rash. Road Rash.
Road Rash. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Rash. Sorry.
Yeah, see, it's easy to do that. It plays just like it is, just as janky. But what I like about it, Matt, is it has a campaign mode. First off, it has co-op multiplayer, which is why you need to get it, so we can...
1991.
There you go. It has co-op online multiplayer. It has local multiplayer. And it's a roguelike, which means that every time you die, you start back at the first track, but the objective might vary a little bit.
Huh.
And then you keep playing, and every time you play, you earn money that can help you buy equipment for your character for that run. But you also earn XP, and that XP goes towards skill tree upgrades so that you can eventually skill tree upgrade where you can skip the first couple of levels and automatically jump to level 3.
Okay.
And then automatically jump to level 6. But you can also get things like double the XP, double your armor, double your health, start with C4 in your inventory, which, that's so much fun. Strapping C4 to a biker and then watching it count down and blow him up off the bike.
Oh, I
right?
bet. Yeah.
So anyway, that's pretty much sums up what I've been playing. I'm not going to go any more on about that, but I loved it. So that being said, why don't we go ahead and jump into our main topic for today? So no news, nothing like that. I apologize. Today, we're just my cat's scratching at the chair. We're just going to talk about, goodness, she's going to be a distraction.
It's going to be a short episode just because of his cat.
Yeah, my cat's going to end up pulling the wire or chewing on it or something, and we're going to go out. But anyway, no, it's our main topic today that we're going to deal with is our top 10 games for the year. I thought we could spend some time talking about our top 10, talking about some honorable mentions maybe. I also thought it'd be nice to look at the top 10 selling games of the year, according to NPD.
Yeah.
And the top 10 games across all platforms. We'll do all platforms for the hell of it. And even though we are a PlayStation, we'll do the top 10 rated games across all platforms for the year on Metacritic as well. Although I have a funny feeling that there's probably going to be a lot of lineup with consoles. So, shall we?
We shall.
Why don't we start with the Metacritic ones? We'll save ours for a minute. Let's just go through the Metacritic ones real quick here.
Okay.
And I'll read them off to you. And so I'm just going based off of top scores by Metacritic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to eliminate repeats. So because like Red Dead Redemption 2 is the top rated game of the year. And that is with a 97. But it's on PS4 and Xbox. It's rated the same score.
Okay.
Number 2 top rated game is Undertale on Nintendo Switch, which came out last year, I believe, on the Vita and PC and PS4. I also played that this year and loved it.
Okay.
Number 3 is RimWorld. That's got to be a PC only game. Never heard of it. Sorry for all you PC nerds out there. Forza Horizon 4.
Okay. Yeah. Xbox One.
Yep.
Exclusive.
So that's number 4. Number 5 was Hollow Knight, the Void Heart Edition, which I downloaded, have yet to play in my on my PS4. Number 6 was Bastion on Switch. Fantastic game. Number 7 was Astrobot Rescue Mission, PS VR game. Number 8 was Tetris Effect, also a PS VR game. And that's with an 89, so that's starting into the 80s now. Number 9 was Mark of the Ninja, remastered. I don't know if that rings a bell or not with you. For me, it doesn't. And so really, I guess their top 10, they count Red Dead twice on there, so that's their top 10.
Huh.
I listed as 9, and so...
There's a lot of names I didn't hear up there, Robert.
I know. Well, those scores are all between 97 and 89. And if we were doing games that were only released this year, you would have to cut out Undertale. Hollow Knight, I'm pretty sure, was last year. Bastion was a couple of years ago. In fact, like 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm not sure, since Mark of the Ninja is a remastered game, I would imagine that's probably an older game as well.
Yeah, still pretty interesting.
Yeah, they came out on Switch. Oh, it is on PS4, Xbox One. I apologize. It released in October. That's across all platforms. My apologies about that.
Okay.
Cool. But that only had 6 critics. So I just wanted to mention those. Take it for what you will. I know a lot of people don't put stock in Metacritic. I certainly don't. Not like I used to anyway. And so I just wanted to mention those.
For those laymen out there, Robert, what is Metacritic exactly?
Well, for the layman man, Metacritic is just, an aggregate of all the websites that score and review games, which clearly has no bearing on sales it does. And I know that some companies give bonuses and stuff based on Metacritic scores. And sometimes that can influence people. But honestly, I think marketing and word of mouth does more. And I think that's what we're starting to see is that shift away from worrying about websites scoring your product to giving stuff to influencers to stream your game, which is why Bethesda also got themselves in some hot water this week or last week.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
I don't think so.
So if you pre-ordered Fallout 76, the special edition, you were supposed to get a canvas bag.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like a good quality canvas bag. Well, they replaced it with like a cheap nylon one, and people were complaining. And Bethesda was like, well, sorry, is what it is. We just, we apologize about that if you thought it was something more. And then somebody that was an influencer sent them a picture, posted a picture somewhere that showed they'd gotten a really nice canvas bag. And so apparently all of those canvas bags are supposed to go in the pre-orders went to influencers instead.
That's jacked
And
up.
so people were really upset with Bethesda. And so Bethesda finally responded by saying, calm down. We'll get the materials, we'll make them, and we'll correct this. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's a Bethesda thing. Screw it up first and then fix it later.
Yes. That's pretty much how their games work.
Yeah, exactly. Put out something that's not exactly complete, maybe a little bit broken, and then fix it when you can.
Exactly. So anyway, that just as a side note, that's the top 10 Metacritic. And, it's just the scores that, you see on websites all compiled together, like Rotten Tomatoes for movies. All right, Matt. Do we want to do our list next, or do we want to do top 10 sellers of the year?
Let's do our list. Let's do sellers last.
Okay.
Because I feel like there will be a lot of crossover in between ours and the sellers, and I'd rather kind of know that later.
Sounds good to me. What do you think? We just want to rattle off well, first off, how about this? Let's talk about this. Do either one of us have any honorable mentions of games that we didn't get to or didn't play enough of that we want to kind of mention at least?
No. I
don't
didn't play enough games, Robert.
Well, that's fine, Matt.
I've played my complete list of what I've played this year is 14 games long.
Well, mine was 75 long, so I trimmed it down.
Well, that's nice of you. This would have been a much longer episode, and your cat would have had a lot more fun in your room had you not trimmed it down.
Well, here's my deal. I went through PSN profiles, and I looked at games I earned at least one trophy in or more and started in 2018. And so a good example of that might be I started Prey in 2017, but I also earned trophies in 2018, so I didn't count that.
Sure.
But, something like We Happy Few, I clearly started this year. And so I'm just going to quickly mention a few games that didn't make my list that I thought were, I've split them into two categories. Games I wish I had spent more time with and games that I've played enough of that are great, but not worth my top 10. So wish I had Ni no Kuni 2. And when I say wish I had, I mean, I wish I had fired it up at all because I didn't even fire it up. I bought it. I forgot it came out this year. And I looked and I was like, oh, that did come out this year. So Ni no Kuni 2 is my top of my wish I had played more. Or else it would probably be on my top 10. Far Cry 5, which I spent 2 hours in. Middle-earth Shadow of War, which I think might have come out last year.
Oh, you bought that game?
I loved the first one.
I did too. I don't know. I just didn't have time for it.
Yeah, I didn't have time for it, and that's why I wish I had. Yeah. And then We Happy Few, which I was excited about for over 2 years. And I played like 5 or 6 hours of it, and I really dug what it was doing. But I got pulled away from it. January, I vow I'll get to at least one of those 4.
Middle-earth, by the way, was September 27th, 2017.
Okay, I thought it was last year.
So, yeah, last year.
But that's what I'm saying. I still wish I had gotten to it.
Yeah, of course.
Honorable mentions. Monster Hunter World came out in January. You and I played a butt ton of that.
We did.
Pyre, which is by Supergiant Games that also made Bastion and Transistor. Crossing Souls. Forgotten Anne, which we had its voice actress on the show. What was that, like 10 episodes ago or so? She was on here.
Yeah.
Rachel Messer. And so definitely go check that game out. Honorable mention, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, the knockoff Castlevania game. Death's Gambit, which is a knockoff 2D Souls game. Road Redemption, which is Road Rash. I even said in my head, don't say Road Rage.
Yep.
And then, of course, Laser League, which you and I had a ton of fun with. And I wouldn't mind doing some of that tonight.
For sure. I'm okay with that.
Okay. So how about if we each share our 10th game on the list?
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of work our way down together. How's that sound?
All right. Well, let me do a couple because these are, because mine isn't so long. I just numbered them because mine's only 13 long anyways. So I'm going to do my bottom 3. I guess these could technically be my honorable mentions. Timber Tennis.
Yeah.
Trials Fusion, which obviously didn't come out, but it was a PlayStation free game this year, and it was super fun.
Okay, so let's pause there for a second.
Yeah.
We should clarify. This is not our top 10 of 2018.
Oh, yeah.
This is our top 10 of what we played this year that we loved. Because to me, if you played in 2018, why can't it be one of your top games of this year?
Exactly.
It doesn't need to come out this year because sometimes you just don't get to a game like Ni no Kuni.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. Okay. Trials Fusion.
Yeah. So Trials Fusion number 12. Well, honorable mention, I guess. And then 11. It just happened to be down there on the list mainly because I liked all these other ones so much. But if it was going by time played, it would be 100% number 1, which is Fortnite.
Okay.
It was again, if it was going by time played or time played by the game, Fortnite would be my number 1. But as far as awesome game, it's I would say an honorable mention for me.
And you know what's interesting? If Game of the Year went by what was the most played, most talked about, most popular, I would say that no one would argue that Fortnite is probably 2018's Game of the Year.
Oh yeah,
right. But thankfully, we don't do it by that.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Yeah. All right, and then number 10. I'm going to start with my number 10. All right.
All right.
We just mentioned it. Laser League.
Yeah. I mean, what's there to say? It's incredible.
It's such a simple game, and it's so fun, and it's oddly challenging against the AI.
Oh, way more difficult.
Their AI is just like, I feel like champion level.
Yeah, I approve of their AI. They did something right there.
Yeah,
it's not unfair because you can beat it,
Yeah.
And you and I have multiple times, but you got to be good.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be on point the whole time.
All right. I'm going to share mine, number 10. And I feel really bad because this is a Game of the Year contender for a lot of things. And I actually put it tied because I was struggling with this.
Yeah.
Because this game, so I have two games. They're tied for number 10. Celeste, which came out in January, which is fantastic, but I didn't finish it. And Valhalla, which is a cyberpunk bartending, I don't know if you want to call it visual novel game.
Okay.
And that actually came out last year, but I loved it so much. I got the platinum for it, and I couldn't stop playing it every time I had time to play with my Vita because it's such a great story. The bartender Jill is hilarious. It's really poignant. It has a really good story, and it just has really interesting characters. And I couldn't wait to mix drinks every time I fired up my Vita. Like mix drinks, serve them to bar, because it's guessing. It's kind of like a puzzle game where like they suggest they want something sweet, so you go into and look for something sweet, or they want something that's sour but not alcoholic, and so you've got to find the perfect match.
Interesting.
And it was a lot of fun.
I wonder if being an actual bartender would help you in that game.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But Celeste was the other one too. Great platformer, and just loved it. So, all right.
Nice.
Number 9.
Number 9, I have Just Cause 4. Just came out.
Just came out.
Just came out. That's why it's low on the list. But I have plugged about probably 2, maybe 3 hours into it. And, oh, God, it's so silly. It's a silly game that you just fly around like a god. Like, almost literally like a god. Like, the amount of damage you can sustain before you actually die is stupid. Like, it's real dumb how much damage you can take.
That's awesome.
It's just, it's such a fun thing to just kind of like I was just trying to like fly around in my wingsuit, and I randomly ran right into a mountain, and then I tumbled all the way back down it. And they have these stats that go with it, like, you know, like you're like the longest tumble, and it was like it was a waterfall that I ran into, and I tumbled like 350 meters down the waterfall, and they even let you ragdoll. Like
That's awesome.
You can even hold O down, and he'll like continue to ragdoll instead of like trying to get up. It's hilarious, and it's so much fun. It's such a like destructive, like just kind of go in for. It's a game you could go in for like 20, 30 minutes and just screw around and just have a blast.
That's awesome.
Like I haven't even gotten to the part where like there's a tornado yet, but I will soon, and I'm super excited about that.
I'm going to have to check that one out. Just Cause always comes out at a bad time for me because there's too much else to play.
Yeah, it is always at the end of the year.
Yeah. Number
9 for you.
9 for me was Guacamelee 2.
Ooh.
I'm still playing through Drinkbox Studios' second game that's not on the Vita. I platinumed the first on the Vita. I will platinum Guacamelee 2. The platforming is great. I know it's if you like the first one, you'd love the second one. The second one's much more cheeky with the humor.
Right.
I found God of War references. I found Dark Souls references. I found old Street Fighter. Do you remember the Street Fighter games where you used to beat up the cars in a certain amount of time?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There's several of those that you have to do for a trophy in Guacamelee 2.
Why was that a thing in games?
I don't know. And that's what Guacamelee does. It's like, this guy's like, this is my new car. I love this car. And then you destroy it. And he's like, why would you do that? There's no reason to destroy a car. Yeah.
I feel like that was like, I don't know which came first, but I feel like Mortal Kombat had those tests of strength too. Like where you would like button mash and then try to like break the wood or the stone or the marble or whatever. Remember that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like those weird like feats of strength that they would like randomly put into these fighting games. That just kind of was like, okay.
Yeah. I will say that I love it. I love the cheekiness of it. They interact with fans because I guess people complained about their memes that were in the last game.
Yeah.
And so they put a whole section where you have to walk through and there's memes everywhere. And the skeletons that are in that area are complaining about all the memes everywhere and how old they are and how dumb and who would put those in a game. It's so self-referential. It's fantastic. Yeah. So that's my number 9.
I really do enjoy games that can do that with themselves / have a really good sense of humor like that.
You would love Guacamelee too.
Yeah.
All right, number 8.
Number 8 for me, you already said it. it was your 10, Celeste.
Yeah.
And I'm also kind of sad that that's kind of low.
Yeah, same here.
Because it was just so well written, and it really is this kind of like emotional journey that you go on with this girl, and it was just, I don't know, it was really good. It was really owed. Like the kid wrote it, guy, I don't know.
Matt Thorson, yeah. He's a guy.
Yeah, well, I know he was a guy, but I mean, I feel like he's pretty young. I mean, he's definitely younger than us, I believe. But he like wrote it about his sister, you know, and like the struggles of like anxiety and like having to deal with that, and you know how things like that can control your life. And it's a really heartwarming kind of story, and it just really is an all around fun game to play with an amazing story.
Yeah, it really was. It was fantastic, and so I'm going to finish that one eventually too. I'm like on level 5, so I have one more left.
Yeah. Number
8 for me, I'm going to put under the quote unquote. I'm sorry, I'm cheating here because I'm smashing 2 together again.
Oh yeah.
But this time there's a reason I'm doing that.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
I'm doing it for a reason because I'm going to call it the roguelike number 8 because roguelike games really, really got me this year. I mean, I've already talked about Road Redemption, which who would have thought Road Rash as a roguelike would work.
Yeah.
Right? And I played a couple others, but the 2 that stick out to me are Dead Cells and Enter the Gungeon. And Dead Cells did come out this year, and Enter the Gungeon came out last year, but I just got to it now. I played more of Enter the Gungeon, but I love both. So roguelikes at number 8 for me as a whole. Okay. But those 2 in tandem, Enter the Gungeon and particularly Dead Cells were fantastic.
I didn't know we could just pick genres.
I'm breaking my own rules. Because I realized I was like, I can't pick between all of these.
Yeah. 7?
7 for me is Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Ooh, okay. All right.
And that's because, honestly, I haven't spent enough time with it. It's like my Witcher, my new version of The Witcher for me to fill that gap.
Yeah.
But I've only spent like 8 hours with it. And I know that's like barely anything. You know?
Posh. Yeah, exactly. That's nothing. Literally nothing. Number 7 for me, Red Dead.
Oh, man, that's going to upset so many people.
I know it is. But it's
gonna make
the
them so
exact
furious.
same reason that you have Odyssey at 7. I just haven't played it enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've put in, like you have put into Odyssey, maybe 8 hours. Maybe not even, honestly. I've put very little time into it. I know it's enjoyable. I know I will enjoy it once I go through the story. It's such a slow game for me, and it's so hard.
It is.
With all these other fast-paced games. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, because even just, I mean, I know it may sound simple, but even just your movements are so slow. Just you as a character are so slow.
Oh, yeah. You're meant to be slow.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, even games where like, you know, like Prey, where you're kind of, there's not necessarily a lot happening in the beginning. You're at least moving at a reasonable pace, you know, and you can push it if you want. But that doesn't seem to be the case for me in Red Dead. I don't know. But, so that's why it's at 7 for me.
Understandable. Number 6, I'm going to jump in and say for PS Vita, and I think it's on PS4 as well, and I got it for free. And I just want to clarify that ahead of time, that I got it for free. That has no impact on why I put it as number 6 here. It's Rain Bites Reverie, and it's a dungeon crawler. You land on an island, and the island is cursed, and this brother spirit is mad at his other brother's spirit, and he's going to try and destroy the island because of it. And it's a really simple story, but dude, I just loved it so much. I picked it up and I played it for an Indie Week event, and I couldn't put it down. I got the platinum, and it's a digital only game, but East Asia Soft has limited 2,000 copies, physical edition of it, and they're still available. I might go and pick one up because it's that good. So I just want to shout out to Rain Bites Reverie.
Cool. For me, what are we on? 6?
Yep.
For me, number 6, Far Cry 5. I know that was
my honorable mention
that you couldn't. Yeah, part of your. I couldn't. Wish I had gotten to.
Yep.
But it's kind of the same thing for me. Like I haven't gotten to a lot of it, but I really just enjoy those Far Cry games. I know it's kind of rinse and repeat to a certain extent, but I feel like they do a good job with them, and there's always a good villain, which is enjoyable to me. A good bad guy to hate. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Number 5 for you?
God of War. Right in the middle of the pack.
Another one that's going to make people angry.
I know. It's because I haven't finished it. Probably. But it's a good game. It really is. Mine 4 and 5 could have been switched maybe, but I don't know. It is a good game, and I do think they did well with it, with recreating it into the kind of game it has become, and I'm excited to see them do another one in this style.
Yeah.
But I just haven't finished it. It is an amazing game.
Yeah, agreed. Number 5 for me just came out, and it's the only PSVR game to make my list because it's the reason it made my list, and because it's going to get me back into other VR games. And so if I had more time, I would probably maybe change this list a little bit to add some other VR games to it. But it gets on the list, and it's at number 5 halfway through because it got me to dust it off. Beat Saber.
Nice.
I cannot get enough of it. It is one thing to watch it and go, oh, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's another thing to play it. When my father-in-law came over, I said, just try this. And he's like one of those people, he's interested in tech, but like, he's 55 years old. He's not really big on like video games at all. And so he played through it. He failed the level, and I thought he would take it off and be like, oh, that was cool. He goes, no, hang on. He goes, I'm restarting that song and doing that again. And he did not set the controllers down until he made it all the way through that song.
Nice.
I think there's something about it that's just special, and I cannot wait for the DLC packs with 10 additional songs each. They're going to release 3 of them. So you'll have 30 songs plus the 15 that are on the PlayStation version.
That's 45 full songs.
If you own it on PC, I think you can do it with any song on Spotify.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yep.
Now, how would one play it on PC? Is that like an Oculus?
You have to have Oculus or Vive.
Okay.
But pick it up on VR. It's freaking fantastic because it has a campaign mode. And the campaign mode basically gradually increases the difficulty so that if you want to do the free play on different difficulties, you don't feel like you're lost.
Oh, cool. Fun.
Yep.
Alrighty. Number 4 for me, Monster Hunter World.
Oh, man, that didn't even make my top 10. That's crazy.
I know, right? We played so much of it. I couldn't put it low on the list. We played the crap out of that game, dude. Like we just kept playing and kept playing.
Oh, yeah. I bet 90 hours together at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, how can you not give anything to the game that you've played that much? You know what I mean? So I feel like, the story was whatever. I mean, it's not for the story, right?
No.
It's for hunting the monsters and collecting their stuff and making the cool outfits that they give out. And now they have kept up with it, obviously, but I have not, unfortunately, because they did have an awesome Halloween event. I'm sure they'll have like another winter event that'll be fun. But I had to put it up there because it was just so much fun to play, and it was such a great time to be able to play it with you and just have that much fun together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because actually on the way home today, I was talking with Olivia about this, and she's like, were there any games you played more than 60 hours this year? And I was like, no. But I totally forgot about Monster Hunter World until I made this list.
Yeah.
And we did. We put like almost 100 hours into it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Number 4 for me, actually kind of breaks my heart a little bit that I didn't put it higher because I spent 50 hours with it. And this is the game I thought I spent the most time with this year, is Spider-Man.
Oh.
And the DLC has got me back into it. And I'm like, damn it, I just want those new cool suits. And I can't wait. And I know there's at least one more DLC pack coming out at the end of this month. So I'm excited. I loved it. It was until I get my Justice League game from Rocksteady, it will satisfy. It's actually got me wanting to go back to the Arkham games because it's just that good.
It's pretty awesome. Alrighty.
Number 4.
Number 3 for me?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we're on 3, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You just said it. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I had to notch it up just a little bit closer to the top for me. Because it was such a good game. I haven't done any of the DLC because I didn't purchase it, but just they did it right, you know?
Yeah. They did Spider-Man justice.
Oh, yeah, exactly. All these other Spider-Mans that have come before it, not so great. Whatever.
Well, not in the last few years anyway.
Well, exactly. Right. Yeah. I mean, there have been good ones, I guess. But they just did it. They did it so well, I think.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. So I feel like that was, for sure, the best way to go with Spider-Man. I think it was, definitely my top 3.
My number 3 is actually one that I love, and I hope gets a physical release from Limited Run Games, and so I think it will, and I'm hoping it does. And it's a fantastic concept for a game. It's called Minute, MINIT. It's by Devolver Digital, same people that published Hotline Miami. They published this game. They didn't develop it, but they published it. You have 1 minute at a time to explore the world around you before your character dies. And then you start from the last save point and you keep working your way out. And the save points are in the houses you go to are just far enough apart that you usually can make it there in about 55 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
But it's because you've explored all the area around it that you know to jet for that next area.
Cool.
Does that make sense? And so, fantastic game. It was one of the few times that I didn't mind dying over and over again, even though I only had a minute each time, because it was kind of like a thrill. Like, I've done that bar, I can move further. I've done that hotel. Oh, I did the top floor. Now I can do the bottom floor. Oh, now I can do the cemetery next to it. So you know where you're going each time, and it's not a wasted experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. All right. Number 2. Well, for me, it's much higher on the list, and it's because I wrote that article that I sent you about the gold glitch and how much I enjoyed it and how it made the game feel dangerous for once for me, instead of dying and going, well, you're dead, so what? I'll start over. I felt like I had something to lose. Was Red Dead 2. I have not also finished the game, and I have put more time into it than you, I believe. Yeah. I mean, I spent a half hour hunting a damn legendary beaver the other day. I think because of some of the interactions I've had, because I finally understood how to do pop in and out of cover and still hit fantastic headshots without the Deadeye assistance, that it suddenly became a much more fun game. And I know the controls and the jankiness of them that are rock star-ish, as a lot of people say, have turned people off to it in that regard. Everybody's right, though. The world building, the story is fantastic. Like, I came across the guy the other day, and he was in shackles. He's like, shoot these off of me, please, or else I'm a dead man. He looked like he escaped from a jail cell.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I, don't I? And I was like, screw it. And I shot them, and he just took off running, yelling thank you as he ran back. And I can't wait to run into him later and him thank me for it. Yeah. Because I know that's how they have this world set up.
Oh, of course. Sweet. That is exciting.
Number 2 for you?
Number 2 for me, Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
I'm always a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. You know me. I've played. Oh, I can't actually say that I've played them all because I haven't played Syndicate. But
no one has.
But for maybe like 2 hours of it. But yeah, I don't know. They just really turned it up a notch this year. I was worried about it because of the close proximity to Odyssey and how good Odyssey was.
You mean like Origins?
I'm sorry, Origins. Yes,
that's
sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. How good Origins was is like a reboot to the game itself, and like how they kind of switched genres just a little bit, but made it that much better. I was worried, but with the choices and the voice acting in it, the girl. I mean, I chose to be the woman, and she is amazing.
Cassandra is amazing.
Yeah, honestly, I wish we could get her on here. That'd be awesome. But she, I mean, from what I heard, and I don't mean this in any bad way against the guy, but I heard that she was the better voice actor anyways.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
So, going through it and hearing her quips and it is pretty well written, and it's just a fun game to play. I mean, they've added a lot of different elements. They've thrown in there, like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but like, they had bounty hunters before, but they kind of made it almost a, good Lord, Middle Earth kind of Shadow of War kind of a thing, where you kind of like have them all lined up and you know who they are, they're like ranked, almost like lieutenants, and then you can become like the best bounty hunter, like, in and of that's not even part of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually really enjoy those because right now, where I'm at in Odyssey, I have like 4 or 5 of them at the same time that are in the same area as me.
Yep.
And so what I do is as soon as I kill one, another one shows up.
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing is I killed a guy that was level 20, on like level 10, and he was 25, and I killed another one that was like 23. Because what I do is I climb to the top of a building, and I get them near the edge, and then I use that Spartan kick,
Yeah.
And I kick
That's
them
always
off,
fun.
and they die in one hit. And I'm like, look at me. I'm a badass.
I know, it's
Badass
so fun.
bounty hunter.
Right? Just like, Kah!
Yeah. That's the best part of that game.
Yeah, they just like fall off back.
It's
good times.
time
Oh,
for
yeah.
number one. Oh, all right.
Number one. Go ahead.
So,
What's your number one, Robert?
my number one game of the year, and I'm going to say that I was torn on this because I know Red Dead really struck a chord with me so far. Spider-Man, I've been waiting for months. Beat Saber, then the first time I played it, I was like, this is my game of the year. And so I've been really torn about giving this game of the year, but I think it deserves it because when I think back to how I felt when I finished it, which I was dying to finish it because I wanted to play other stuff. And it wasn't because I was bored with it. It's just after 30 hours with a game, you're kind of like, I love this, but I also have a life and I want to get through other games before I'm dead.
Yeah.
But then when I finished it, I was like, crap, I can't wait for them to implement New Game Plus mode. And so I was like, that's honestly, I still think about going back to it sometimes. God of War.
Okay.
It's just the last third of that game for me is what made it. Like I was enjoying it, but I couldn't stop thinking about it once I got to the last third. And I think it's basically the part right where you left off.
I was about to say maybe that's why it's lower on my list because I feel like that's probably the last of it I have is probably the last third.
Yeah, you do. And right where you're at, I can tell you right after that, it caught fire with me to the point where that's all I could think about doing was finishing it up. Not just to finish it up, but because I enjoyed it so much. So
yeah.
So that's my number one, God of War. Congrats.
All right. Number one on my list, not even on yours list, Robert.
No, I forgot it under honorable mentions too. You mentioned it right before the podcast, but I wasn't going to make my honorable mentions any longer.
That's fine. It's fine. Well, I'm going to do a 1A, 1B. I'm going to do 1B as Prey. It's B because it's B because it came out, last year, obviously, but it's up in the ones because I just started playing it and I cannot put it down.
And that's the sign of a good game.
Yeah, I haven't had it for like more than a week and I've put like 30 some hours into it already. Like it's insane. I just keep playing. I can't stop playing. It's so much fun. Anyways, and then 1A, Detroit Become Human. The story, as always. I mean, come on. It's so relevant and it's just so good. I don't know. It's so relevant and so good. I couldn't help but feel for these robots. And it was just, the voice acting was phenomenal and it was just so well written. And I wanted to keep going back to like get all like the little variants, and it's crazy. Like they even show you the breakdown of like what you can do almost everything. They show you almost everything you can do. And it's insane. Like what these little choices and how they will affect the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, it's awesome. It really is. And I thoroughly enjoy it. And that's why it's my number one for sure.
Awesome.
I will say, as the last note on my list, I have only finished 2 of these games. 3 of these games. Well, I guess Monster Hunter World, I guess technically I finished, but...
Yeah. So I finished less than 15 this year, too.
Yeah. I only finished Detroit, Spider-Man, and Celeste.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 games that I've finished this year. Now, obviously, some of them, Odyssey, Red Dead, Just Cause, those just came out.
Yeah, and I think that's the ultimate message I got out of this year was I played a lot, I finished very little.
Yeah, right.
And it's not because I didn't want to.
Yeah, they just keep doing it to us, Robert, though. You know what I mean? They just keep putting out better and better games and more of them. And it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. We need to make this profitable so we can just play video games all the time.
Yeah.
And then not have to worry about other jobs.
Be influencers, right?
Yeah, exactly. Get canvas bags that people get all pissed off about.
Yeah. I will say this. I also, because we did this podcast this year, because we started this in January, so it's almost a year for us. The crazy part for me is that reading the blog introduced me to some games I would have never looked at.
Oh, yeah.
PS Plus is always guilty of that. And I'll tell you what, talking with indie developers, I played games that aren't out yet that are just have demos. For example, Skeletak, right? We talked to those guys for like an hour and a half, and they were amazing.
Yeah.
David and Shane. And I would put that on my top 10 games of the year immediately, except it's just a demo and there's not a full game yet. So,
right, exactly.
How am I supposed to say that I count that as my top 10? So,
yeah.
But so, it is crazy. It's funny how the majority of the games that I've played this year, and it's funny because I said when we started this list that they weren't only going to be from 2018. Yeah. But now that I look at it, almost every single one of my games minus Enter the Gungeon and Valhalla were 2018. And so go figure.
My list was a little bit different. I guess only, 1, 2, I guess technically Fortnite isn't 2018.
No, but it feels like it.
Yeah, right. It keeps itself so current.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up with the top 10 best-selling video games, retail and digital. Sweet. This is the year ending. I don't think NPD has updated their numbers of October 2018. And so this came out in November, so a little less than a month ago, or about a month ago. I doubt much has changed, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
But we can take a look at it. So here's the top. Well, actually, it's the top. It says top 10, yeah. Top 10, I want to make sure.
Yeah, top 10 selling video games. Retail and digital, October 2018. Now, is this just October?
No. This is for the year to date. If you scroll down.
Up until,
Scroll down, it says YTD, year to date, ending October 2018. What blew my mind about this was that it only came out in October. And the top 2 selling games of the year that came out in October for the whole year to date were Call of Duty, Black Ops 3. 4. And Red Dead Redemption 2 in that order. And then number 3 for the top selling games of the year, Far Cry 5. Number 4, Spider-Man. Number 5, NBA 2K19. Number 6, God of War 2018. Number 7, Monster Hunter World. Number 8, Madden NFL 19. Number 9, Grand Theft Auto 5. And number 10, Call of Duty World War II. 2 of those games didn't even come out this year. The bottom 2 did not come out this year, right. And they are still the top 10 selling games of 2018.
That's nuts. It really is.
But no surprises with those, and several of those were on your list. Some of them were on mine. But you can see how different some of our list is too, because Call of Duty did not touch. I have no interest in that, and I know that's a big deal for a lot of people. Sorry.
Yeah.
Far Cry 5, I didn't spend enough time with. NBA, I've just never been interested in. Madden, I haven't been interested in since 2007. And Grand Theft Auto 5, I played when it came out, so I don't feel the need to buy it again and again and again. When they add VR support next year, we'll be in the top 10 selling games for 2018. Yeah. Or 2019, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. All right. We're running a little long in the tooth, but
for a short episode, we did pretty good.
I know. Do we want to end with our Metacritic quip of the week?
Yeah, let's do a little quip.
All right. So I'm gonna read you some descriptions. Let me cut out some of the stuff here, so mentally anyway, so that I can read it to you without stumbling over it. You tell me what game they're trying to complain about or review. I like to take the negative ones. I can't help it. I enjoy those the most.
Those are the funniest, usually.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
So I'm going to censor a few things. Not quite the triumphant return longtime fans had hoped for, but nevertheless, blank is an enjoyable and worthy entry in the series. The biggest issue here is that newcomers will likely find the protagonist and her world a little too unwelcoming. To those of us who have already shared the trials of blank and the journey of blank, delivering her wrath is satisfying, if somewhat guilty pleasure.
Ooh. Her.
This is a game that just came out probably less than a month ago. Like probably 2 weeks ago, actually.
Her rap.
As of this recording.
Oh, man.
It's in a series.
Right, yeah. Series and in her rap.
I hear no one talking about this game, so I feel kind of bad for it because it always interests me, but I never get to any of them.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
No, you would think, because I said her.
Yeah.
It's Darksiders 3.
Oh.
Which I was super excited about. But, haven't heard anything about it. All right. Number 2, so you're 0 for 1.
All right.
This one didn't make our list either. The most positive thing I can say about Blank is that a train wreck of this magnitude might finally yank this company that gets away with too much back to reality. Maybe it's finally time to update that engine. Maybe it's not a good idea to slap the name onto a game that isn't fit for release and expect it to go over well.
I had it after the first word. Fallout 76.
Yep. I had to throw that
100%.
one in there. I love the train wreck comment.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. But you know, it's funny. I agree with 100% of that comment.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll wake them up to actually do something about their out of date engine that they keep putting games out for. And, you know, it's just, you know, I get it. It's still making them money, I guess. But, I don't know. It was
a mess.
We haven't played it yet because we're not looking forward to the, 125 gigabytes worth of updates we have to download?
Yeah, my hard drive can't handle that right now. All right, so you're 1 for 2. Number 3, this one's close and dear to my heart. Well, it's related. It's a game that ties in with others. For not exactly a popular price, Blank offers a significant level of entertainment for lovers of the genre and the saga. Although the gameplay is a bit simplistic, the choreographic aspect always remains at high levels. Vivisecting the package, you can see some naivety too, but overall, and focused on target audience, it is a well-packaged collection.
Is this that Persona Dance collection?
It is.
Oh, nailed it!
Yep. I want to play that so badly. All right.
Yeah.
Number 1, 2, what was that? The third one? So you're 2 for 3. So 2 for 3. Going to number 4.
All right.
This is a mega edition here. Blank is a very visually appealing simulation strategy game that absolutely nails the look and feel of the United States. Unfortunately, some very rough AI and a non-existent tutorial are barriers to entry. Series newcomers, had best stand back and let the veterans clean this one up through mods before giving it a go. We actually talked about this one last week.
I feel like this is 76 again. No, give it to me one more time.
Blank is a very visually appealing simulation strategy game that absolutely nails the look and feel of the United States. Unfortunately, some very rough AI and non-existent tutorial are barriers to entry. Series newcomers had best stand back and let the veterans clean this one up through mods before giving it a go.
Ooh, simulation strategy. It's throwing me for a loop. Especially with, you said America?
Yep. America.
America. I don't know. I only think I can think of civilization.
Did you check your email this week?
There's no way it's right. No.
Did you see Dave's email this week?
No.
I forwarded you Dave's email. If you'd seen that, you would know the answer.
Oh, dang it.
It's a game we said, who plays these last week?
Is it Dave? Does Dave play those?
He does. Do you know what it is?
What is it?
Farming Simulator 19.
Oh, no, it's not. Farming Simulator. Son of a... Farming Simulator. That's awesome.
I had to text him earlier this week, and I was like, were you trolling us in our weekly email, or do you really play those? He does. He says he plays them almost every year. He really enjoys them. He just hasn't had time for the most recent ones. But
well, he wrote a scathing review of this one, apparently.
He did. All right. This one also we read last week on the blog, and you loved the title. That's your hint.
Okay.
Blank doesn't hurt for content, sporting about 100 levels and all the collectibles to grab on the way. I enjoyed the game most when played for a short period of time and avoided burnout by playing for long stretches of time. Still, if you're looking for some good, solid puzzle fun on the PlayStation VR, Blank has a lot to offer. And the map editor is nearly worth the price of admission alone for its content creation and 3D art potential. It's not going to blow the roof off of the genre by any means, though it's one of the better puzzle experiences on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a lot.
It's a little indie game for PlayStation VR that you did in a very high-pitched voice.
Very high-pitched
It's one-word title.
One-word title? Oh, my God.
Oh, man, I could just hand it to you while we're at it.
Yeah, good Lord. There's so many one-word title. Oh, good Lord. I don't even know. Let's see. Oh, wait. I don't know. I don't remember. Dang it.
Squishies.
Oh, squishies. Dang it. Squishies.
Yeah, that's what I thought of when I read that. All right. I have a
How could
bonus.
I forget?
I have a bonus this week because you're two for 4, I believe, if I'm counting correctly. This is a bonus, so this is kind of the tiebreaker to see if you have a winning or losing. Oh, you are 2 for 5?
I think.
All right. Well, just like the Pirates every year, I'm going to give you a chance to get to 500.
All right.
Ouch. This one is a bonus. This is a fan Metacritic review.
Okay.
I picked a fan. Do you know people leave those scathing reviews?
Of course.
Because I just love this one. I loved it. Because if you can guess the game, I will be amazed. Ready?
All right.
Gaming used to be a recreation for me. Video game companies used to consider me their consumer. They used to do their best to put out a game I would buy and enjoy playing and tell people about so that more people would buy it. I used to have fun playing video games. Now I have to pay for a premium for the game, pay a subscription fee to access the online content, and when I've done that, microtransactions after microtransactions after microtransactions. I'm not having fun anymore. Video game companies are now the consumer, trying to get as much money out of us as possible and giving nothing back in return. I am done.
Oh my gosh. And is this a game that came out this year?
Yes, and it's a game that came out recently. I just couldn't stop laughing when I read that.
Is it Black Ops 4?
No.
I'm trying to think of like what like the microtransactions.
Well, don't get let me lay this out here for you. Don't get too caught up in the review of the specifics because I think this person just hated video games. Like I think these so I really do think how about this? I'll narrow it down a little bit for you.
All right.
I got this one off of one of the ones we've already talked about.
One of the games we've already talked about.
Yes, in this Metacritic whip.
Oh, Fallout 76.
Fallout 76, that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was just an angry 0, and it doesn't say anything about the game. It has nothing to do with microtransactions. And I was just like, who did you are you just ranting to rant? So.
Well, no, there is microtransactions in the game. I forgot about that.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. That's why. Yeah, I haven't played it, so how would I know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's if you look on, you can buy like atoms or whatever they're called.
Oh, okay. I do remember them talking about those. I do remember hearing that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're long in the tooth. I apologize, but you love it. Don't pretend you don't. That's why you come back every week.
All right. They keep coming back.
Well, Matt, we're gonna do one more probably to end out the year, and then when we come back in January, we'll celebrate 1 year's worth of podcast.
1 year's, Robert. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're doing a good job.
We are. All right. Until next time, everyone. Game on.
Game on. This is the outro music, the long in the tooth outro music for this week. I could keep going because it's so long in the tooth.
Long.
Oh, good time.